Right now at 5, the Pittsburgh City Commission looks to vote on a resolution to declare a large portion of downtown as the Pittsburgh Arts District.
Plus, we've got some pretty chilly temperatures out there this morning, but don't worry, the sunshine is on the way. We'll talk about that in the Halloween forecast coming up.
And we meet a Neodesha resident who turned an old jail and firehouse into an Airbnb.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we do begin this morning. We have a traffic alert for drivers in Joplin, as Joplin Avenue itself between 5th and 6th Streets will be closed starting today. The work is expected to take about 3 days, and it's to repair damage to the street from that water line that ruptured. The businesses will remain open, but just a heads up that Joplin is closed between Joplin Avenue, not the whole city, between 5th and 6th Street. All right, live look 7th and Range Line looking pretty good, but it is a bit chilly. 37 in Joplin. The breeze much calmer than what it has been the last few days under clear skies. Temperatures across the area still chilly for the most part, but not bad. 41 Yates Center, 36 Iola, 39 Pittsburgh, 36 Miami, and 36 in Neosho. A bit of a wind chill in some places with that light breeze, so feeling like 33 Fort Scott, feels like 36 in Nevada right now. Most of us don't really have much of a wind chill. Live look at the MoDOT camera, looking east on I-44 from Range Line. Looks good. Green light for your morning commute. It'll be mostly clear, temperatures in the 30s, and a green light for the drive home, mostly clear, temperatures in the 50s. Kids getting on the bus this morning, that lightning bolt shouldn't be there. I forgot to take that off. 37 when they get on the bus. It'll be clear, no lightning out there, and mostly clear when they come home. 57. We're heading today for a high of 62 degrees under mostly clear skies, so an absolutely gorgeous fall-like day. And tonight, a pinch warmer than what we are right now, 45 for the overnight low, but we'll have increasing clouds and be mostly cloudy as we start tomorrow. We do have some additional shower chances in the forecast and a little bit of a warm-up. We'll talk about all that here in just a couple minutes.
Beautiful fall day. I know one of my kids is going to a pumpkin patch as a field trip today, so that should be fun.
This is the perfect day to do it.
That would
Absolutely.
Be fun. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, federal court sentences a Springfield man for robbing a bank within a month of being released from prison for another bank robbery. Charles Edgar King Jr. was convicted of robbing Citizens Bank in Rogersville, Missouri in 2012 and sentenced to 7 years in federal prison without parole. He served an additional 14 months for repeatedly violating the terms of his supervised release following incarceration. King had been released from federal prison 30 days prior to robbing the Guarantee Bank in Springfield on July 10, 2021. U.S. District Judge Brian C. Wimes sentenced Charles Edgar King Jr., who is 58 years old, to 5 years and 11 months in federal prison without parole. City of Pittsburgh approves the creation of a community improvement district. The district will be located on the north side of town and includes businesses including Home Depot and Rib Crib. It'll add a sales tax to those businesses ranging from 0.1% to 2%. Those taxes will be used to pay for projects to improve the district.
We have a letter of intent from a national retailer, which the patrons in this community will love, and we're excited about that. And it's a 10,000-foot user that wants to build next to Marshall's. And I've built for them in other communities, so we're thrilled about that.
The new district will be called the Pittsburgh Town Center Community Improvement District. The Pittsburgh City Commission will vote on a resolution to declare a large portion of downtown as the Pittsburgh Arts District. Officials say the mission of the Arts District is to maintain the spirit of art and culture through community interaction, education, and innovation. If approved, the designation would make it easier for new businesses to apply for grants.
Hopefully down the line that would be an excellent option if there's any way that the Arts District can help any of these businesses or local mom and pop shops get funding for their businesses, their buildings, any new improvements to this area. That is totally what we're here for.
We will hear from a board member later in the show. Neodesha residents have turned a Neodesha resident has turned an old city fire and jail building into new use. KOAM's Yana Abdullah talked with her and a few former workers.
The long building that used to be in fire and police officers' use has gotten a new life. Neodesha resident Kim Petrulius purchased the building with her husband to use it for storing cars. However, after purchasing, she noticed a lot of people who came and told her about the history of the building. This led to an idea of turning it into an Airbnb.
We have a great retired fire chief who gave us lots of knowledge, who gave us some artifacts. They were really instrumental in helping us obtain a lot of the photos. We have 28 photos in here of this actual building dating back to 1906. So everyone was super helpful.
Out of the two, the fire department side is slightly larger space with more room for a family. Petrulius is currently expanding the firehouse Airbnb with an extra bedroom to give large families more space.
All right, excited to learn more about this Airbnb, Yana. Thank you. Well, the city of Diamond, Missouri is asking residents to approve a $4.5 million bond in November. The bond would pay for water and wastewater infrastructure improvements. City officials are looking for grants to help pay for it, but it would also raise water and sewer rates to cover cost.
The issue is that our collection system that goes to that lagoon is where our issues are. It's old, it has a lot of root intrusion. We have a lot of what's called I&I, which is infill and intrusion of water into our system when it rains, and that creates, backups in the system.
City will hold a public hearing at 6 p.m. tonight at City Hall to answer questions about the bond. Fort Scott Area Chamber of Commerce held a candidate forum at Fort Scott Community College. Community members had the chance to meet with some of the Kansas candidates before the forum. Candidates spoke on their concerns and what they would do if they won.
Well, we're new to the community, first of all, and we're not very familiar with a lot of the candidates here, and so we wanted to come out and see what they had to say and get to know a little of their views and things like that prior to the election.
Those elections are November 8th.
All right, quick look at sunrise and sunset for today. 7:36 for that sunrise, 6:27 for the sunset. Days getting shorter by a minute nearly every day as we approach the winter equinox. All right, here's what we've got for the 7 days. So we're nice today, we're nice tomorrow. Showers, slight chances Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We also see a cool down, but the good news is by the time we reach Halloween, if you're doing any trick-or-treating, partly cloudy skies, 64, 50 for the low. And the nice thing about these shower chances on Saturday and Sunday is if you've got some weekend Halloween plans, they're going to be scattered, isolated to scattered. So we're not talking a washout like we saw the last couple of days. Just bring an umbrella just in case you get caught under one of those stray showers this weekend. Otherwise, not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. We always need the rain, that's for sure.
We do. We need more and more, and we hopefully can get
Rained
more
a lot,
on the way.
but it didn't catch us up.
No, not in the slightest.
All right, thanks, Chris. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, last night was opening night for the soccer playoffs. We'll have how Pittsburgh did against St. Thomas Aquinas.
Plus, Kanye West is in hot water as Adidas becomes the latest company to drop him amid his controversial comments.
And the pandemic made people feel less socially connected. We'll have how people feel now that the pandemic seems to be dying down. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
This week is the opening week of the playoffs for high school football in Kansas and Missouri. In southeast Kansas, Columbus Titans hit the field against Burlington on Friday night in the first round of the 3A bracket. Titans had a bit of an up and down regular season. They won just one game the first 6 weeks, but Columbus turned around and won back-to-back games to close the regular season. That includes a pretty impressive win last week, beating a 5-2 Parsons team by 24. These seniors are motivated to build on that and make sure Friday isn't the last game of their high school careers.
We got a little bit of a taste of it last week, knowing that it was our last game ever here in Columbus at Cecil Klein, and seniors, that hit hard for us, and it kind of just gave us a little taste of every single game going forward. I told our guys, like, every game after this is potentially our last game, and we got to play like it is. And I told my guys I'm going to die on the field for them, and I expect the same from them.
We've tended to peak a little bit early before going into the playoffs. I'm not going to say we've necessarily peaked right now, but playing our best football rolling into round one of the playoffs is exactly what we need to be doing.
Last night was the opening night of the playoffs for Pittsburgh High School soccer. Purple Dragons hit the field at home facing St. Thomas Aquinas in the regional semifinals. Winner of this one moves on to face Basehor Linwood for a regional title. Just a few minutes in, Anthony Kunswegru, nice move, puts it in the other side, giving Aquinas their first goal of the night. Then, look at this, Cooper Welsh, free kick from the opposite side of the field, really hammered it. One bounce and in, just like that. Saints have a 2-goal lead. Caleb Miller did make a few nice stops in the goal for Pittsburgh. Here he dives and knocks it away, but Aquinas too good last night. Liam Ryan with the header for the goal off the pass from Barrett Kitts. Aquinas wins and moves on. Pittsburgh finishes with a 10-5-1 overall record. We had a few volleyball district championships on the line in Southwest Missouri. First, a pair of COC rivals meet in the Class 4 District 6 championship. It's Webb City and Carl Junction playing for the third time this season. Webb City won the first two, and they won this one tonight 3-0. The Cardinals are district champs and will face Helios Catholic in the state quarterfinals on Saturday. In Mount Vernon, the Mountaineers have a shot at a district championship on their home court, facing Seneca. Last night, though, it's Seneca claiming the Class 3 District 12 title, 3-1. The Indians now move on to face Mountain Grove Thursday night in the sectional round of the Class 3 bracket. One more in Joplin. College Heights and Jasper meet for the Class 1 District 11 title. In that one, it's Jasper winning 3-0. The Eagles claim the district title and will face Drexel in the sectional round of the Class 1 tournament on Thursday. Well, still to come, companies and governments all around the world are still incentivizing and ramping up fossil fuel extraction and burning despite the need to reverse ongoing climate change. And we've got another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:17. We're going to do our weather trivia in a minute, but first, I wanted to share this. Let me put this in my pocket so I got all my hands available. Somebody in our station left this note for us. It says, "You all are doing a great job and everyone can use a little encouragement and to pass it on." I want to pass that note on to all of you at home. You're all doing a great job, no matter how bad things get. Remember that. Just keep it up, all right? And you're doing a great job by staying tuned here to the KOAM Morning News because we've got all the information you need to know for the day. So, our question for you today now is, what strange weather phenomenon shares the name of an Emilio Estevez movie? This one should be a pretty easy one. Is it a sun pillar, St. Elmo's fire, Tropic Thunder, or Rain Man? By the way, that's real St. Elmo's fire over there. We'll let you think about that as we take a look at the forecast, and we begin with a traffic alert in Joplin as Joplin Avenue between 5th and 6th Street is going to be closed for the next 3 days as they work to repair damage to the road from that ruptured water main. Again, that work's going to last 3 days, but the businesses in this area will remain open. All right, now 7th and Range Line. No road work going on there. Looking pretty good so far. Clear skies, but cool. 37 degrees. Okay, it's downright cold to me. 37 degrees in Joplin, 48 Center, 38 Chanute, 39 Pittsburgh, and 36 in Carthage as we start the day. As you can see, Carthage, for example, is a degree warmer. So the light breeze bringing us a wind chill in some locations like Yates Center, Iola, Fort Scott, but for the most part, the light breeze not having a big impact on our temperatures. Live look at the MoDOT camera looking east on I-44 from Range Line. It looks good. Now, this is nice to put on here. Green light for your morning commute, mostly clear skies in the 30s, and a green light for your drive home, mostly clear skies and in the 50s. Kids getting on the bus this morning, I got rid of the lightning. I don't know why I didn't take that off there, but 37 and clear when they get on the bus, mostly clear when they come home. Light breeze northeast at 5 to 10, 57. As we go through today, we will eventually reach a high of 62. No more of this early morning business. We'll be mostly clear through the majority of the day, and as we head into the overnight hours, we will see cloud cover begin to increase, and we'll drop back down to a low of 45 degrees starting tomorrow off, mostly cloudy. We'll be mostly cloudy on Thursday, 65. Some slight shower chances, hit and miss showers, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We also have a bit of a cool down. Then when we get into next week, we start to turn around and warm up. Partly cloudy skies on Halloween, looking absolutely wonderful to get out there and do some trick-or-treating. Overnight low Monday of 50 degrees. So chilly, but not as cold as it usually is on Halloween around the 4 states. Well, Kanye West's Yeezy partnership with Adidas was reportedly worth around $1.5 billion. The emphasis on was, Now it's a thing of the past. Sneaker company dropped West following a string of controversial remarks about Jewish people, which drew widespread condemnation from advocacy groups, including the Anti-Defamation League. Anna Iliopoulos has the details.
Sneaker giant Adidas is the latest company to cut ties with Kanye West. The sportswear company on Tuesday said it would terminate its collaboration with the rapper and producer due to his recent anti-Semitic comments. The announcement ends a nearly decade-long partnership that had been very lucrative for both parties. Adidas says it's prepared to take losses of almost $250 million. Forbes says Kanye's net worth was, quote, obliterated, taking him off its list of billionaires. In a recent podcast, Kanye claimed his deal with Adidas wasn't in jeopardy, saying, quote, I can say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me. Now what?
I think at the end of the day, they really had no choice. Kanye West or Ye, he dared them. Well, they just called his bluff.
Kanye's controversial comments in recent months have turned his brand radioactive. Earlier this month, Twitter and Instagram kicked him off their platforms for a string of outbursts against Jewish people, both Gap and Foot Locker announcing they would no longer carry his products. His former talent agency no longer represents him, and Def Jam, his longtime record company, declined to renew his contract.
He brought this on himself. And when faced with remarks that were clearly offensive, out of step with what's publicly acceptable, anti-Semitic, undeniably prejudiced, he doubled, he tripled, he quadrupled down.
I think Kanye is an idiot, and I'm glad that Adidas dropped him.
That brings us to our question to you this morning. Should the rich and famous be held accountable for their actions? Yes or no? You can vote at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. You can also vote through our app and, of course, take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. Back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, there's declining interest in COVID vaccine boosters, even among older adults. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, seniors in the U.S. are more likely to be vaccinated than any other age group. But uptake has declined with each additional shot. CDC reports about 93% of people ages 65 and older have completed their initial vaccine series, but only about 72% of those eligible have kept up to date by getting their first booster, and less than half have gotten their second booster shot. As for the updated bivalent booster shots, which target the original strain and 2 Omicron subvariants, less than 10% of the population ages 5 and up have received it. The COVID-19 pandemic did not just affect the world's health physically. It also appears to have played a factor emotionally. According to a study published Tuesday by Gallup and Meta, the parent company of Facebook, most people say they still feel socially connected to others. However, researchers found there is still a large amount of people who say they need support adjusting back to everyday life since COVID. The lead researcher says the study gives a look into how people deal with the changes in the world since the start of the pandemic. Findings are based on roughly 15,000 people in 7 countries who were interviewed between April and June of this year. The sense of emotional connection was highest in Egypt, where close to 90% said they had strong bonds with family and friends. The lowest was in Brazil at 53%. As for the U.S., 75% said they feel secure with others. Let's look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
All right. Well, we totally forgot to give you the answer to our weather trivia question earlier. I apologize for that. I was so focused on wishing everybody just a great day that I totally forgot about the answer. So if you forgot, our question to you was, what strange weather phenomenon shares the name of an Emilio Estevez movie? Your choices were Sun Pillar, St. Elmo's Fire, Tropic Thunder, or Rain Man. And if you happen to guess B, St. Elmo's Fire, you would be correct. And St. Elmo's Fire, it's ionized air that gives the impression of lightning or fire, but it's really just a discharge of electricity. So now you've learned a little more, and we'll have more on your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Right now at 5:30, the Pittsburgh City Commission looks to vote on a resolution to declare a large portion of downtown as the Pittsburgh Arts District.
We got a chilly start to our Tuesday, but beautiful conditions out there, dry roads, clear skies. We'll tell you how warm it's going to get and how Halloween is looking coming up.
And we meet a Neodesha resident who turned an old jail and firehouse into an Airbnb.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:29. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. I think Yana, she's waiting for her segment here this morning. I think she's trying to trip me or injure me so that she can just take over because she's got her cord stretched out. And I'm coming back over here, and I almost died.
I saw the cord. It was balled up into a lot of knots, so it's not her fault.
No, she could have stood anywhere but right there. She knows the path I'm going to take in the morning. She's laughing about it now. She's like, I'll try harder next time.
For some reason, when she came in, that cord was over here balled up, so it got moved over there, and then now it's just it's not going to work until it gets straightened out.
There is such a thing as a tangle fairy. I know that there is.
You want to see a tangle fairy? Look at this. This is what I came into today.
Was somebody tying their shoes with the mic cable?
Every mic cord today is tangled up in knots.
Hey,
what were they doing last night in here? That's what I want to know.
They were leaving us pleasant notes.
That reminded me I need to fix
help encourage us because they knew what we were going to face otherwise. Tim's telling me I've got to go do some weather, so why don't we dive into that. First, we begin with a traffic alert in Joplin. We do have this notice for you that Joplin Avenue between 5th and 6th Streets will be closed starting today. It's work to repair damage to the road from that broken water line. The work's going to last about 3 days, and businesses in that area will be open. Right now, 7th and Range Line, we are clear and cold, 37 degrees to start the day. Temperatures across the area, not too bad though. We got 38 Chanute, 39 Parsons, 36 in Carthage, and 35 in Neosho. Some of us getting a slight wind chill, say Iola, Fort Scott, maybe a degree. In fact, the wind chill is starting to go away because unlike the last couple of days, the wind's not blowing at 40 miles an hour. I-44 and Range Line looking good from the MoDOT camera there. Green light for your morning drive, mostly clear in the 30s, and a green light for the drive home, mostly clear and in the 50s. Kids getting on the bus this morning are going to need a jacket, 37, mostly clear, but a calm wind. You don't see that often, or we haven't seen it that often here lately. As they come home, 57 degrees, mostly clear with a light northeast breeze, 5 to 10. Going through today, we will reach a high of 62 degrees under mostly clear skies, a textbook fall day. And tonight, clouds will increase and we'll cool back down to 45 for the overnight low. And a quick check of the weekend. Got some shower chances this weekend, 59 Saturday, 55 Sunday. These are going to be isolated to widely scattered showers, so not just a full rain event, but some shower chances nonetheless. And we'll talk more about the Halloween forecast here in just a couple minutes.
All right. I know a lot of people will be watching for that Halloween forecast because it's not just Halloween Day. I mean, a lot of people will be doing events on Saturday, Sunday.
Right. Monday. With Halloween being on a Monday this year, they should have no school on Tuesday. We talked about that yesterday, just so you can recover.
They do, kids.
But they do have school on Tuesday.
Sorry, teachers.
Yeah, teachers do not get paid enough to deal with some of the stuff they deal with sometimes, so... But we'll have a look at that. I'm just in an exceptionally good mood today, and I'm hoping that spreads to the folks at home and to you and to Yana and to Gabe and all the folks. I'm just in a really good mood. Yeah. I'm just really happy today, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's Wednesday. We're halfway through the week.
Because secretly, Chris is the one that came in overnight and tangled up all the mic cords.
I did. I got here very early this morning under the cover of darkness and said...
The only cord that's not tangled is the one he's wearing.
That's just a coincidence. Purely coincidental.
Okay, we better move on. We better move on.
We should.
All right. Thanks, Chris. A federal court sentences a Springfield man for robbing a bank within a month of being released from prison for another bank robbery. Charles Edgar King Jr. was convicted of robbing Citizens Bank in Rogersville, Missouri in 2012. And was sentenced to 7 years in federal prison without parole. He served an additional 14 months for repeatedly violating the terms of his supervised release following incarceration. Now, King had been released from federal prison 30 days prior to robbing the Guarantee Bank in Springfield on July 10th, 2021. U.S. District Judge Brian C. Wimes sentenced Charles Edgar King Jr., who was 58 years old, to 5 years and 11 months in federal prison without parole. Diamond, Missouri city leaders want the public to know about a proposal to improve the city's water and sewer system. Voters will decide November 8th whether to approve $4.5 million in bonds to pay for infrastructure improvements. The project would be funded by a water and sewer rate increase. City will host a public hearing tonight to explain the reasons for the request.
Tomorrow is basically to get the information to the people, show pictures of exactly what we have currently, shows the roots intrusion into our system. It shows the layout of the system and the difficulties that we are currently having with it. So we're hoping that we can identify the issues to the people so that they understand the need.
Public hearing begins at 6 o'clock this evening at City Hall. Diamond is also seeking grant money to help pay for the improvements. Well, a Neodesha woman has transformed an Old City Fire and Jail building into a unique opportunity. KOAM's Yana Hatula talked with her and a few of the building's former workers.
This long building that was once used for fire and police officers gets a new life as a stylish getaway. Neodesha resident Kim Petrulius purchased the building with her husband to use it for storing cars. However, after purchasing, she noticed a lot of people who came and told her about the history of the building. This led to an idea of turning it into an Airbnb.
We have a great retired fire chief who gave us lots of knowledge, who gave us some artifacts. They were really instrumental in helping us obtain a lot of the photos. We have 28 photos in here of this actual building dating back to 1906. So everyone was super helpful.
Of the two, the fire department side is a slightly larger space with more room for a family. Petrulis is currently expanding the firehouse Airbnb with an extra bedroom to give large families more space.
All right, well, thanks, Yana. Appreciate you giving us an insight into that. Can't wait to see and hear more about this Airbnb. Thank you. Another proposal in front of Pittsburgh City Commissioners was to promote the arts and generate funds. Commission voted on a resolution to declare a large portion of downtown as the Pittsburgh Arts District. KOAM's Shagun Bomadelli has more.
Officials say the mission of the creation of the Art District is to maintain the spirit of arts and culture through the community's interaction, education, and innovation.
Gallery has opened. The popularity of the Art Walk has been significantly greater over the past few years. We've have a lot of local businesses that are willing to host art events and allow artists to display their work in their businesses.
The designation would make it easier for new businesses to apply for grants.
If there's any way that the Arts District can help any of these businesses or local mom and pop shops get funding for their businesses, their buildings, any new improvements to this area, that is totally what we're here for.
A board member of the Pittsburgh Art Walk and co-owner Photos Cafe says the district is good for Pittsburgh economy.
People are moving here for the arts because they're starting to see that in our community in Pittsburgh, Kansas, the arts are important. And that's a big deal to a lot of people, and we want those people. Those people are very active in the community. They bring their families with them. They get jobs. They spend their money here.
She also says there will be new murals.
We want this. We want to have murals. We want to have art. We want to support our artists. And we want to give grants to those artists to pay them to do the work. And so highlighting that and focusing on that has been really important over the last 10 years. And yeah, I think there will definitely be more to come.
In Pittsburgh, Shagun Bomadelli, KOAM News.
And a quick correction to the 5 o'clock version of this story that I read earlier this morning. The City Commission did meet last night and they did approve that arts district. Well, this morning we're discussing being held accountable for your actions.
Yeah, sneaker giant Adidas is the latest company to cut ties with Kanye West. The sportswear company on Tuesday said it would terminate its collaboration with the rapper and producer due to his recent anti-Semitic comments.
The announcement ends a nearly decade-long partnership that had been very lucrative for both parties. Adidas says it's prepared to take losses of almost $250 million. Forbes says Kanye's net worth was, quote, obliterated, taking him off his list of billionaires.
In a recent podcast, Kanye claimed his deal with Adidas wasn't in jeopardy, saying, quote, I can say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me. Now what?
That brings us to our question. Should the rich and famous be held accountable for their actions?
So far, 100% of you say yes. And honestly, we were talking about this
Thank you for that response, by the
in
way.
the commercial break. Celebrities have I think, a bigger influence on the national discussion than even politicians, because people don't always like politicians. They don't always pay attention to the politicians until they're making bad choices. They don't really listen to some of the things they say. Celebrities, on the other hand, people are engrossed in them, and when they say things, it can influence the national discussion. It can have an impact.
Well, I mean, and why are politicians always happy to get a celebrity endorsement?
Because people listen more to the celebrity. If their favorite celebrity endorses this person, then they must be all right. So I think that folks are seeing the same thing or thinking the same way, because it's 100% yes on this. So make sure you vote through our website, through our app, and of course take part in discussion on our Facebook page. Quick look at that 7-day forecast for you. We got some shower chances building in through the weekend. They'll be hit and miss, so don't cancel your Halloween weekend plans. Just be prepared for a stray shower or two. Looking good on Thanksgiving Day, my goodness. On Halloween Day, 64, partly cloudy, overnight low of 50, so some good trick-or-treating weather out there.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. Due to extreme drought and little rain to relieve it, a lake with low water levels starts to reveal a hidden history.
Plus, 6 people are dead after the Israeli army raids an alleged bomb-making site, causing people to take to the streets in protest. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, a new report finds governments and companies are still incentivizing ramping up fossil fuel extraction and burning. According to the annual Lancet Countdown report on health and climate change, many governments are undermining efforts to reverse climate change. Governments have also failed to deliver on their promise to aid in the transition to clean energy. Researchers say this delay is making it harder for families to afford escalating energy bills. It's also exposing people to hazardous levels of indoor pollution. Without accelerating efforts for renewable energy, Lancet warns climate change-related deaths and diseases will only worsen. Anger spilling onto the streets in the West Bank. This protest after Israeli raids that killed 5 Palestinians. A 6th person was killed when a demonstration near Ramallah turned violent. That's the most Palestinians killed by Israeli military forces in the West Bank in a single day this year. The army says it targeted a bomb-making site for an armed group known as the Lion's Den. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, and we do start with a traffic alert in Joplin, as Joplin Avenue between 5th and 6th Streets will be closed today, starting today, and it'll be closed for the next 3 days as they work to repair the road and damage from a water main that ruptured. The businesses, though, in this area will still be open. Right now at 7th and Rangeline, it is clear and a little bit cold, 37 degrees, but a very light wind, and it'll stay light through most of the day. Temperatures across the area not bad, 48 Center, 38 Chanute, 39 in Pittsburgh, and 35 in Neosho. We do have some wind chills out there with that light breeze. 37 Yates Center, Iola feels like 32 in Fort Scott right now, but otherwise that light breeze not really impacting temperatures. Live look at the MoDOT camera looking east on I-44 from Rangeline. Looks good. Green light for your morning commute weather-wise. Clear skies in the 30s. Green light for the drive home as well. Mostly clear skies and in the 50s. Kids getting on the bus will need a jacket. It'll be a bit on the chilly side. 37 when they get on the bus with a calm wind, and then a light northeast breeze 5 to 10, 57, and mostly clear when they get home. Heading for a high of 72. It'd be nice, but 62, still not bad under mostly clear skies today. We'll have increasing clouds tonight and drop back down to an overnight low of 45. And as we look at the weekend, a stray shower or two possible Saturday and Sunday. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, 59 Saturday and 55 on Sunday. Some very fall-like temperatures. We're back with the news you need to know when we come back.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Neodesha resident gives an old city fire and jail building a new use. Neodesha resident Kim Petrolius purchased the building with her husband to use it for storing cars. However, after purchasing, she noticed a lot of people who came and told her about the history of the building. This led to an idea of turning it into an Airbnb. City of Pittsburgh approves the creation of a community improvement district. The district will be located on the north side of town and includes businesses including Home Depot and Rib Crib. It'll add a sales tax to those businesses ranging from 0.1% to 2%. Those taxes will be used to pay for projects to improve the district. And the Pittsburgh City Commission voted on a resolution to declare a large portion of downtown as the Pittsburgh Arts District. Officials say the mission of the Arts District is to maintain the spirit of art and culture through community interaction, education, and innovation. The designation would make it easier for new businesses to apply for grants. On Tuesday, the commission did in fact approve the district. And the city of Diamond, Missouri is asking residents to approve a $4.5 million bond come November. The bond would pay for water and wastewater infrastructure improvements. City officials are looking for grants to help pay for it, but it would also raise water and sewer rates to cover costs. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And we do have a traffic alert for our friends in Joplin, as Joplin Avenue between 5th and 6th Street will be closed as they work to fix the road from that broken water main. The closure will last 3 days and starts today. The businesses in this area will remain open. 7th and Range line, clear skies and chilly. 37 degrees with a light breeze out of the south-southwest. Not bad at all. 38 Chanute, 39 Pittsburgh, 36 Miami, and 36 Neosho. That light breeze giving us a bit of a wind chill, say 37 Yates Center, Iola, and feels like 32 in Fort Scott, so not too bad. Live look at the MoDOT camera looking east on I-44 from Range Line. Pretty quiet right now. Got a green light for your morning commute under clear skies, 30s for the temperatures, and your drive home, another green light, mostly clear, temperatures in the 50s. Kids getting on the bus this morning, not too bad, a little chilly, 37 with a calm wind under clear skies, mostly clear when they come home, 57 with a light northeast breeze at 5 to 10. We'll head for a high of 62 today under mostly clear skies, so a beautiful day. Increasing clouds tonight will drop back down to 45 for the overnight low. And a check of the 7-day forecast for mostly cloudy tomorrow, 65. Scattered shower chances Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Temperatures also come down a little bit. And then by Halloween, we're 64, partly cloudy with a low of 50, so some good trick-or-treating weather. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Lakes and waterways across the country have been seeing lower water levels through the years, and this cause for concern has one slight silver lining: hidden history re-revealed.
Yeah, Mike Mangus has more on some hidden gems now visible at Shasta Lake in California and the history buffs who are drawn in.
If there were any rain clouds, this would be a silver lining. Once again, Mother Nature is revealing the secrets of Shasta Lake. Man-made objects that have been and should be deep underwater during wetter seasons. Still, on this day last year, the lake reached its lowest level. As Bureau of Reclamation Area Manager Don Bader told me in the spring, right now the water is some 40 feet higher than a year ago.
We made our projections at the end of March where we would be at the end of the year, at the end of the summer. However, we did get some rain in April, a little bit in May, and cooler weather, and that helped us cut back some of our deliveries, and therefore we are going to finish higher at both reservoirs.
Speaking of Shasta and Trinity Lakes, so here's what you can see at Shasta. This is an easy one, the base of the head tower at Shasta Dam, used during its construction. You don't even have to get out of your car to see it. Same with the Doney Creek Bridge in Lakehead, visible from the road. Other landmarks take a little more work to find, like this railroad tunnel, if you know where to look. Heather Kirby works at a convenience store in Lakehead, and these pieces of history have become a tourist attraction.
Well, yeah, they ask for the directions of where the tunnels are and, you know, how to get to the boat ramps and stuff like that. Because a lot of people like all that old stuff.
There's this remaining piece of the highway rising out of the lake, and just underneath the water level, a railroad trestle with the top of a tunnel poking out of the hillside. Looks like a good spot for bass fishing. And truthfully, the Salt Creek Bridge hasn't seen water in years. It's another structure you can see from your car.
That's just absolutely fascinating. I mean, the fact that the levels are dropping so much is, of course, as we mentioned, a major concern. But at the same time, we're getting a very unique look into some history at a number of lakes across the country.
Well, I imagine the water would have to be really high for those not to be hazards for boats going across anyway.
I mean, that tells you then how low the water levels have dropped as well. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we got another check of your forecast, including Halloween coming up. We do have a traffic alert to start your day off in Joplin, as Joplin Avenue itself between 5th and 6th Street will be closed. It starts today. It'll last about 3 days. They're going to repair the pavement from that broken water main. You may remember the story about that. The businesses in this area are expected to remain open during this process, but just be aware for your morning drive. 7th and Range Line, we're looking good. Clear skies, a bit on the chilly side though. 37 in Joplin right now. Temperatures across the region are not too bad, but they're chilly. 38 in Neodesha, 48 Center, 39 Pittsburgh and Lamar, and 36 in Carthage. And with the light breeze, it's a very light breeze, it is making it feel a little cooler. And say Yates Center at 37, feels like 32 in Fort Scott right now. Most of us not really feeling the wind chill effect. Live look at the MoDOT camera, looking east on I-44 from Range Line. Traffic looks good. There's not that much out there yet. Green light for your morning drive, clear skies, 30-degree temperatures, and a green light for your drive home as well. We'll have mostly clear skies and temperatures in the 50s. Kids getting on the bus this morning, they're going to need a jacket, 37 degrees and clear skies with a calm wind, and then a light northeast breeze at 5 to 10, mostly clear, 57 when they come home. Today we're heading for a high of 62, and we'll actually reach that in the afternoon instead of early in the morning. We'll be mostly clear, a beautiful fall-like day across the area. We do have increasing clouds tonight. We'll be mostly cloudy to start tomorrow, overnight low of 45 degrees. And I look at the weekend forecast, some spotty showers Saturday and Sunday, mostly cloudy skies otherwise, 59 Saturday, 55 Sunday. So don't really cancel your Halloween weekend plans. Just be aware you may need the umbrella. We have the showers going Friday through Sunday, and then by the time we reach Halloween, not bad. 64, partly cloudy skies. We'll drop back down to an overnight low of about 50. And as you can see, we hit a mild streak as we head into next week. Temperatures in the 70s. We'll be right back with more of the KOAM Morning News after this.
Right now at 6, a Springfield man will return to prison for bank robbery less than a month after being released from prison for bank robbery.
We have a traffic alert for drivers in Joplin. We'll tell you what roads you need to watch out on, and we'll talk about our forecast and some fall-like weather coming up.
And a Neodesha resident turns an old city fire and jail building into an Airbnb. KOAM's Yana Hadula takes us live to Neosho for more on this unique sleepover.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. It's 6 o'clock on this Wednesday morning, halfway through the work week already, so that's a good thing. It's a pretty good day too, but we do want to first alert you to a traffic alert we have in Joplin, as Joplin Avenue between 5th and 6th Streets will be closed starting today as they work to repair the road from damage, from that ruptured water main. The businesses will remain open in that area, and this work is expected to last about 3 days. Clear skies in Joplin at 7th and Range Line, but chilly, 37 degrees in the city, and we've got cool temperatures across the area, 35 Iola, 39 Fort Scott, 38 Pittsburgh, 36 Miami. And with a light breeze, some of us getting a little bit of a wind chill, 36 Yates Center, feels like 35 in Fort Scott this morning, but not bad otherwise. Live look at the MoDOT camera. Looking east on I-44 from Range Line, not bad there. Green light for your morning commute, mostly clear skies in the 30s, and green light for your drive home, mostly clear skies and in the 50s. Kids getting on the bus this morning will want to grab that jacket because it'll be 37 degrees with a calm wind. Yeah, take that in for a second. No gust to 35 or 40 or 45, a calm wind. And when it does get breezy, we're talking a light northeast breeze, 5 to 10, 57, and mostly clear when the kids get home. Going through the rest of the day, we're going to see a high of 62 degrees under mostly clear skies, a textbook fall day out there. And as we head into tonight, some increasing clouds will drop back down to a low of 45 degrees, be mostly cloudy to start tomorrow. Mostly cloudy this weekend, some stray showers possible Saturday and Sunday, 59 on Saturday, 55 on Sunday. So don't cancel your weekend holiday plans. Just be aware if you're doing trunk or treating or anything like that this weekend, you may want to keep the umbrella handy just in case you run into one of those stray showers out there. But otherwise, not bad at all.
All right.
We're going to talk about the Halloween forecast here in just a minute as well, and what we're looking at next week.
Sounds like a plan. All right. Thanks, Chris. A federal court sentences a Springfield man for robbing a bank within a month of being released from prison for another bank robbery. Charles Edgar King Jr. was convicted of robbing Citizens Bank in Rogersville, Missouri in 2012 and was sentenced to 7 years in federal prison without parole. He served an additional 14 months for repeatedly violating the terms of his supervised release following incarceration. Now, King had been released from federal prison for 30 days prior to robbing the Guarantee Bank in Springfield on July 10, 2021. U.S. District Judge Brian C. Wimes sentenced Charles Edgar King Jr., who is 58 years old, to 5 years and 11 months in federal prison without parole. Silver Dollar City announces its plans to invest $30 million into the park in the coming years. $5 million of that is allocated for next year. Some of the planned projects include a themed furniture store, more waterside dining, student employee housing, and improvements to the parking lots and entrances. Seneca, Missouri opens the doors on a new fire station. In 2016, Seneca residents voted for a public safety tax to build the fire station, but hit a snag, and it still wasn't close to being finished in 2021. And then last year, the Eastern Shawnee Tribe offered to help pay for completion by donating $273,000. Seneca Fire Station number 1 is at 124 Washington Avenue. Well, a Neodesha resident transforms an old city fire and jail building into a unique opportunity. KOAM's Yana Hadula talked with her and a few of the building's former workers.
A long building that was once used for the fire and police officers gets a new life as a stylish getaway. Neodesha resident Kim Petrulius purchased the building with her husband to use it for storing cars. However, after purchasing she noticed a lot of people who came and told her about the history of the building, which led to an idea of turning it to an Airbnb. She says feedback has been very positive.
I always say if I'm having a bad day, I'll just go look at our Airbnb reviews. They make us feel really good about how we try to go above and beyond. So pretty much just if you go to the reviews and read them, you will see what kind of host that we are and how hard we try.
Of the two, the fire department side is a slightly larger space with more room for a family. Petrulis is currently expanding the firehouse Airbnb with an extra bedroom to give larger families more space.
Now, Yana, I know you spoke with some firefighters and former firefighters who used to actually stay at the firehouse side of it. Did they have some interesting stories to tell you about their stay there?
Yes, they had a lot of interesting stories. I'm sad I couldn't fit all of them to my package, but some of them will be coming up in my package later today.
Okay, well, I'm excited to hear about those interesting stories. All right, thanks, Yana. We're now less than 2 weeks away from this year's midterm elections, and last night all eyes were on Pennsylvania, where the Democratic Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman and Republican TV personality Dr. Mehmet Oz took the stage for their one and only debate. Keystone State is crucial in the battle for control of Congress. Astrid Martinez has more.
Thank you, Lisa. With that, let's get started.
Last night, Democrat John Fetterman and Republican Mehmet Oz faced off in a high-stakes hour-long debate.
I had a stroke. He's never let me forget that.
Immediately, Fetterman addressed what he called the elephant in the room, his recovery from a recent stroke. He used a closed caption device during the debate, at times speaking haltingly and occasionally stumbling, like on this answer to a question regarding his changed position on fracking.
I support fracking, and I stand and I do support fracking.
Oz, who mostly ignored Fetterman's health challenges, played up his own status as a political outsider.
I'm a surgeon. I'm not a politician.
The debate did get heated at points while discussing contentious issues like abortion and crime.
I'm the only person on this stage right now that was successful about pushing back against gun violence.
He argued that people should be let out of jail without any bail, no matter what they did to get in there.
And the top issue for Pennsylvania voters, according to a CBS News battleground tracker, the economy and inflation.
John Fetterman thinks the minimum wage is his weekly allowance from his parents.
We have to fight about inflation here right now. Dr. Oz can't possibly understand what that is like. You know, he has 10 gigantic mansions.
CBS Battleground Tracker also has this race as a toss-up at the moment, in a state where the winner could determine which party controls the Senate. Astrid Martinez, CBS News, New York.
The latest CBS News Battleground Tracker gives Republicans a slight edge to win the majority in the House, while the Senate is still up in the air.
All right, let's take a look at the sunrise sunset for today. 7:36 for that sunrise, sitting 6:27 for the sunset tonight. And a look at that 7-day. We're mostly cloudy tomorrow, 65. We got those spotty shower chances Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as temperatures drop. Then by Halloween, we're 64, partly cloudy with a low of 50. And then take out next week. We have a bit of a mild week ahead of us as we creep back into the 70s and overnight lows hover around the 60s.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Aaron Slifka from the Joplin Chamber of Commerce is in studio to tell us all about the upcoming Joplin Regional Innovation and Technology Summit.
Plus, sports shoe company Adidas cuts ties with Kanye West after the rapper makes anti-Semitic comments.
And health experts are warning about a triple threat of viruses heading into the traditional flu season. We'll have the details. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, grief counselors will be at Central Visual and Performing Arts High School in St. Louis just 2 days after police say a 19-year-old recent graduate opened fire, killing a student and teacher and wounding 7 others. Astrid Martinez has the latest, including new details emerging about the gunman and his motive.
Investigators say the school shooter in St. Louis came prepared.
We know now that he had in his possession one rifle, an AR-15 style rifle, a .223 caliber.
Police say the 19-year-old gunman had more than 600 rounds of ammunition, some strapped to his chest, and they even found magazine clips in the stairwell of the school. They also recovered a note from his car that included a list of past school shooters, adding he wanted to be next.
He wrote, quote, "I don't have any friends. I don't have any family. I've never had a girlfriend. I've never had a social life. I've been an isolated loner my entire life. This was the perfect storm for a mass shooter."
This year, there have been 40 school shootings, a record, according to Education Week, which has been tracking such incidents since 2018. This latest tragedy has reignited the contentious national discourse over gun control. Heading into midterms, it's a heated topic featured in virtually every political debate, like this one last night between gubernatorial candidates in Michigan.
Guns are the #1 killer of our children. I support secure storage. I support red flag laws. I support background checks.
I would like to have armed security at our schools. I would like to make sure that we have a one entry point.
Officials say the school in South St. Louis was locked, with security guards near each door. Police won't say how the gunmen still managed to get in, insisting they don't want to make it easy for potential copycats. Astrid Martinez, CBS News, New York.
St. Louis Public Schools said on Tuesday that Central Visual and Performing Arts High School would remain closed through at least Friday. Superintendent said that there was a possibility students might not return until after Thanksgiving. Let's look at one of today's top national stories. We're going to take a look at our forecast now. We have a traffic alert for our drivers in Joplin, as Joplin Avenue itself between 5th and 6th Streets will be closed starting today as they work to repair the pavement that was damaged from the water main break, as you may recall. The closure is expected to last about 3 days, but the businesses in this area will remain open. Taking a look at 7th and Range Line, we've got clear skies, but we have a chilly start to our Wednesday morning. 37 degrees in Joplin, and this is my favorite thing right here is wind calm. Not wind at 40 miles an hour or anything like that today, and it won't be that way for today, so that's quite nice. 48 Center, 38 Chanute, 39 Chatopa, 36 in Miami, and 36 in Neosho as we start the day with a little bit of a light breeze in some areas. We do have a wind chill, say 36 in Yates Center, 35 Iola, 35 Fort Scott. Most of us not really experiencing much in terms of the wind right now, and we won't through most of the day. Live look from the MoDOT camera looking east on I-44 from Range Line. Traffic picking up, looks good. Green light for your morning drive weather-wise, as will be mostly clear in the 30s, and a green light for your drive home as well. Mostly clear, temperatures in the 50s, and no rain in the forecast, at least not for today and into tomorrow. Sunrise, this isn't sunrise. This is kids getting on the bus this morning. They're going to need a jacket because it'll be 37 with a calm wind, a light northeast breeze later at about 5 to 10, 57 and mostly clear, and no early morning highs this time either. We will reach an afternoon high of 62 degrees under mostly clear skies, a textbook fall day. today. Increasing clouds as we go through the night, dropping back down to a low of 45. So we'll start tomorrow mostly cloudy. We'll be mostly cloudy this weekend, 59 Saturday, 55 on Sunday. Maybe some scattered showers out there, not a complete rain out, so don't cancel your weekend plans. Just keep the umbrella handy just in case you get caught under one of these showers. And of course, a little bit cooler as we head into the weekend than what we've got for the rest of the week. Sunrise today will be 7:36 this morning. Sunset is 6:27. And a look at the 7-day forecast. So tomorrow we get up to 65 or 64 on Friday, and that's when we see the shower chances start to build in. They'll continue through the weekend and then clear out by Monday of next week. Partly cloudy for Halloween Day, 64 and 50 for the overnight low. So a little bit cool, but not as cold as it usually is on Halloween. So some great trick-or-treating weather. And then look at Tuesday. 70 degrees? Yeah, it's not the only one. We warm back into the 70s as we head through next week. Partly cloudy skies, and our overnight lows creep up too into the 60s as we head into next week. So some additional shower chances, rain we absolutely need, and then we've got a pretty decent week ahead of us for next week. If this earpiece doesn't stop falling off my ear, I'm going to yell at somebody. That is it for your forecast. We have got Aaron Slifka in the studio, and we'll have that interview with Tanya Bach and her both when we come back.
Topping Health Watch this morning, lowering blood pressure in later life can significantly cut the risk of dementia. That's according to a review of 5 studies. The studies conducted in 20 countries included more than 28,000 older people. Researchers suggest any treatment to lower blood pressure is effective in preventing dementia, including diet, exercise, and medication. Researchers in Belgium have found no link between prenatal exposure to anesthesia and learning or memory impairments in children. The study is the largest since the FDA issued a warning in 2016 that prolonged exposure to anesthesia in pregnant women could result in developmental issues. That warning was based on animal studies. And a new study finds that exposure to aerosols from e-cigarettes can cause heart arrhythmias in animals. Researchers from the University of Louisville say the aerosols led to skipped heartbeats, which could increase the risk for sudden cardiac arrest. And concerns continue to grow about the triple threat of viruses sweeping the nation. Despite the surge in illnesses, few Americans are getting flu shots or COVID boosters. Meg Oliver reports on how to keep your family safe.
Can you spell your last name for me?
COVID-19, the flu and RSV already causing severe illness ahead of normal peaks.
We're here with a simple message. Get vaccinated.
Today, the White House sounding the alarm for everyone over 5 to get a flu and COVID vaccine.
The thing that we always are paying attention to is making sure there's plenty of hospital capacity. So right now, our focus is get people vaccinated, get people treated, and keep people out of the hospital.
Walgreens reports flu cases have doubled over the past 2 weeks and are spreading at a high rate across the South. This as the CDC reports 3 million fewer flu shots than at this time last year.
What are you concerned about?
I think with the combined RSV, flu, a potential COVID surge, I think children's hospitals and pediatrics in general are going to experience a lot of what the adult hospitals experienced in March and April of 2020 when COVID first hit.
In New Jersey, COVID hospitalizations are up slightly compared to last week, and RSV cases are rising across the country.
I was worried, and I also knew that the hospital was the only place that she would get the support she needed.
Sarah Kornblit rushed her 4-year-old daughter to the hospital on Sunday with RSV.
How bad do the symptoms get?
She started having fevers a few days after she started getting sick, and then on Thursday afternoon, her oxygen started going down.
Following our interview, Sarah's daughter was taken off oxygen and allowed to go home. While there is no vaccine for RSV, Dr. Slavin says October is the month to get your flu shot to help protect you through March, typically the end of flu season.
And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We begin with a traffic alert for our friends in Joplin as Joplin Avenue itself between 5th and 6th Streets here will be closed starting today as they work to repair the pavement that was damaged by that broken water main, you may remember. The businesses here will remain open and this work is expected to take 3 days. Look at that 7th and Range line. It looks good. A few more cars out on the road. 37, so a bit on the chilly side under clear skies with a calm wind. Temperatures out across the area are chilly as well. 39 Yates Center, 38 Fort Scott, 38 Pittsburgh, 35 Miami, and 36 in Anderson with a light breeze in some areas. We got a slight wind chill. 35 Yates Center, Iola, and feels like 34 in Fort Scott. Live look at the MoDOT camera from Range Line and I-44 looking east down the interstate. A few more cars out there as well. And as you begin your morning commute, a green light from the weather department. You'll have mostly clear skies, temperatures in the 30s, and a green light for your drive home as we continue with the mostly clear skies, temperatures in the 50s. Kids getting on the bus this morning will need that jacket though. 37, mostly clear skies and a calm wind. Light northeast breeze at about 5 to 10 later today. 57 as they get home, and we'll have for an afternoon high, not a morning high, of 62 degrees today under mostly clear skies. And then as we head into this evening, we've got increasing cloud cover, and we'll drop back down to 45 for the overnight low. We are mostly cloudy tomorrow and 65 by Friday. Isolated to widely scattered showers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Temperatures also come down, so don't cancel your weekend plans. Just keep the umbrella handy. And then for Halloween, we're 64, partly cloudy by day. We drop back down to 50 for an overnight low. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
An Neodesha resident has taken an old city fire and jail building and turned it into a stylish getaway. KOAM's Yana Hatula talked with her and a few of the former workers who used to stay there. She joins us now with more.
Thanks, Tanya. I talked with Kim Petrulis, an owner of both Old City Jail and Firehouse Airbnbs. These two guest houses are located in the same long building in Neodesha.
You'd wake up in the wintertime and snow would be on you sleeping in the cots and bed because the door would blow open and snow would be on top of you in your blankets and stuff.
The Hook and Ladder Guest House in Neodesha brings back all kinds of memories to the firefighters that used to work and sleep there back in the day, especially for former Fire Chief Dwayne Bansett. Even after the building turned into an Airbnb, Bansett says it was hard not to think about work when he stepped back in the building.
Brought my pager in here with it turned on, hoping alarms would sound one last time as with a firefighter still in here, but didn't get lucky enough to have a call that night. So,
for owner Kim Petrulius, saving the history and educating the next generation is important. She says the retired fire chief was helpful in getting lots of photos, some dating back to 1906.
We owned it about 15 minutes before people started, just not as an Airbnb, but would show up and they'd tell us stories of when they worked here. And it's like, we have to do something with this building instead of just storage.
Petrulis used to visit the building herself. She knows how important this piece of history is for many locals.
If you are 45 years or older, you remember this building. So it's a lot of, and there's still a lot of people who have family who were associated with the building.
In the same building, but on the other side of this wall, was the Old City Jail. The firemen worked together with police to keep an eye on the inmates. Sometimes that duty led to even more work.
We looked out the door and there was water running down the driveway about 6-8 inches deep, and we couldn't figure out what it was. He had got mad and destroyed the plumbing in the back of the building.
Think of it as a living museum because of what Kim's done with it. I wanted to run the wrecking ball through it when we were done with it because I hated it so bad, but she has fixed it up so nice.
And turned it into just that, a living museum, a place for youth to learn something new and adults to take a look back. Of the two, the fire department side is a slightly larger space with more room for a family. Petrulis is currently expanding the Firehouse Airbnb with an extra bedroom to give large families more space.
Oh, Yana, that's pretty cool though. Hard to imagine firefighters sleeping on one side of the wall and inmates in their bunks on the opposite side and having to deal with that on a nightly basis.
Oh yeah,
that would have been very interesting. All right, thank you so much. Well, this morning accountability for your actions. Sneaker giant Adidas cuts ties with Kanye West due to recent anti-Semitic comments. The announcement ended a very lucrative, nearly decade-long partnership.
Adidas says it's prepared to take losses of almost $250 million. Now, Forbes says Kanye's net worth was, quote, obliterated, taking him off of its billionaires list.
That brings us to our question. Should the rich and famous be held accountable for their actions?
So far, this has not changed through the morning. 100% of you still saying absolutely. And of course, 0% saying no. And we talked about this earlier. You know, the celebrity influence is sometimes greater than politician influence. And you mentioned politicians that seek celebrity endorsements. That's part of the reason behind it. People pay more attention to their celebrities than they do to local politics sometimes, and even national politics. And celebrities have the ability to influence the national discussion, as is being seen right now.
Oh yeah, and we're talking about the race with Dr. Oz and Big John.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, make sure you vote through our website, through our app, and of course take part in discussion on our Facebook page. Quick look at sunrise, sunset today. 7:36 for the sunrise, 6:27 for the sunset. We are mostly cloudy tomorrow, 65. Rain shower chances build in Friday, 64. As we head into Halloween itself, 64, partly cloudy, and we'll drop back down to a low of 50. So not freezing like it usually is on Halloween in the 4 states. A pretty decent night to get out and do some trick-or-treating.
All right, and that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. If you're looking for holiday gift ideas that will also benefit some needy families, Mary Stockham is going to be stopping by the studio to tell us all about the upcoming Holiday Craft Fair.
And we'll take another look at your chilly fall forecast coming up. Welcome back. Mary Stockham joining us live in the studio now to talk about the upcoming Holiday Craft Fair at the United Methodist Church. So Mary, good morning. Welcome to you.
Good morning. Thank you.
Coming out here on such a chilly morning. We're very happy to have you here, and you've brought some really neat things with you. So first, tell me a little bit about what you've got here and what will be on display at the craft fair.
Okay, we're going to have a craft fair this coming Saturday in Webb City at the Route 66 Event Center. And we have various vendors there. We have koozies, which is what you put your hot bowl of soup on. And we have pot scrubbies. And when you're finished cooking and you need to clean your pot, this is what you use.
Really?
Yeah, they're nice. They're soft, but yet they can scratch all the baked on food out.
Oh, be darned. See, now I wouldn't have thought that with this. It looks like something you hang on the wall, but yeah, if you feel it, I'll be darned.
Yep. And then we have votive candles in glass jars. We have wood ornaments. We're going to have Tupperware. We're going to have aprons that are handmade, Color Street nail polish. We're going to have baby washcloths, the hooded towels for children when they get out of the bathtub, table runners, crocheted items, leather goods, lots of different items.
Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, there's quite a selection that's getting ready to come up here. And a craft fair is always exciting because, as you just mentioned, there's all sorts of unique items at a craft fair. But this one's a little bit different because you're raising money for a special cause.
Yes, the church does not keep any money. We have members of the church that get together and they provide Christmas baskets for needy families. We provide turkey, ham, vegetables, cereal, milk, bread, eggs, all kinds of things, not only for Christmas, but for the following days afterward. We also provide an article of clothing for each child in the house and a small toy. Last year, our church served 72 families, and we know that there's going to be more need this year. That's the reason for the craft fair.
I mean, and that's impressive to be able to reach out and touch 72 families in the area with something that they otherwise may not have had.
Exactly.
And you know, beyond the food, being able to help children, because of course for Christmas, children, it's a big deal for them, and if they don't get something, they feel left out.
That's true, and you're never sure exactly how many children will not be able to receive anything at Christmas.
And this really helps that out.
It does.
And with the craft fairs, you mentioned the proceeds go to benefit that. So
yes, all the money raised goes to that.
And that's why we want to let everybody know when and where this is, because it is essential that you get out to this craft fair so that the church members can get out there and build these Christmas baskets and ensure that kids have a Christmas this year and that families have something to eat this year for Christmas. So one more time, where's it at and when's it at?
Okay, it is in Webb City at the Route 66 Event Center. That's at 21 South Webb Avenue. It's 1 block west of the Main Street in Webb City. We start at 9 in the morning. We finish at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we will have 2 food trucks.
Oh, wow. So you can get a little snack so you can spend plenty of time crafting that day.
Yes.
So All right, Mary, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And of course, we'll have all this information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be back with more right after this.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, James Rainey. Corporal Rainey served in the Army from 1952 to 1953. He served in Korea with the 76th Automatic Weapons Battalion, a native of Columbus, Kansas. We thank you, today's four-state hero, James Rainey.
All right, it is time for some middle-of-the-week birthdays. And we are beginning in Oswego with Revi Zuelan turning 6. Some great pumpkins there that she's pictured with. Revi, a very happy 6th birthday to you today.
And let's see, we've got Chase Manfield turning 11 this year. Love the picture there. Somebody must be in costume. Chase is in Stark City, Missouri with love from the family.
All right, and we have Madison Helton turning 15. Madison is a freshman at Pittsburgh High School, so if you see her in the halls today, make sure you wish her a very happy 15th birthday.
Wow, I didn't know Madison was already a freshman. Happy birthday. Teresa Singleton turning 51 years old this year. Teresa's celebrating in Joplin with happy birthday wishes coming from your fiance, Nicholas.
Yeah, I knew I recognized her. I know her and her fiance very well. So a very happy birthday to you, Teresa. And our chief photographer, the guy who takes some of the best video you see. He also is our chief drone operator. So any of our sky view stuff that you see comes from this guy right here, Ty Parks. He and I started a week apart. Back in 2017 in January. He started a week after I did, and we've had this running thing. Every time Ty and I get paired up, something happens. We could go out to a live shot for something simple like, hey, it's a food fair. And then all of a sudden, the world comes crashing down, and we're the guys that would always go out and do that. So Ty, a very happy birthday, and it's been a pleasure all these years, and here's to many more.
All right. And we've got Braylon Allen turning 6 years old in persons. Happy birthday to Braylon. Catherine Vance turning the big 6-0 with love from the family.
And we've got Steve and Paula Parsons in Columbus celebrating an anniversary today. Steve and Paula, a very happy anniversary to you and a happy birthday to everybody on our list. And we want this list to be considerably longer, and Tanya's going to tell you how you can help out.
That's right. All you have to do is send us your birthdays. Pictures would be helpful if you send them to birthdays with an S at KOAMTV.com or birthdays at KOAMnewsnow.com.
And while you're at our website, why don't you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club? It is free to do, and you get great deals from local businesses. Additionally, you have the opportunity, you'll get a nice birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So go to KOAMnewsnow.com, sign up for that birthday club. Okay, quick check of our forecast today. Mostly clear skies, 62, a beautiful fall-like day for us today, and a light breeze finally. And then as we head into tonight, we'll see increasing clouds, mostly cloudy by tomorrow morning. We'll drop back down to a low of 45. We'll be back with more right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Neodesha resident gives an Old City fire and jail building a new use. Neodesha resident Kim Petrolius purchased the building with her husband to use it for storing cars. However, after purchasing, she noticed a lot of people who came and told her about the history of the building, and this led to an idea of turning it into an Airbnb. City of Pittsburgh approves the creation of a community improvement district. The district will be located on the north side of town and include businesses including Home Depot and Rib Crib. It'll add a sales tax to those businesses ranging from 0.1% to 2%. Those taxes will be used to pay for projects to improve the district. And the Pittsburgh City Commission also voted on a resolution to declare a large portion of downtown as the Pittsburgh Arts District. Officials say the mission of the Arts District is to maintain the spirit of art and culture through community interaction, education, and innovation. The designation would make it easier for businesses to apply for grants. On Tuesday, the commission did in fact approve the district. City of Diamond, Missouri is asking residents to approve a $4.5 million bond in November. The bond would pay for water and wastewater infrastructure improvements. City officials are looking for grants to help pay for it, but it would also raise water and sewer rates to cover cost. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, get ready for a beautiful fall day. We'll have mostly clear skies, warming up to an afternoon high of 62 degrees today. We'll have increasing clouds as we go through tonight, and we'll be mostly cloudy to start tomorrow, 45 degrees. On the 7-day forecast, again, we're mostly cloudy tomorrow, 65. Some isolated to widely scattered showers possible Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Temperatures cool off. Don't cancel your weekend plans. Just keep the umbrella handy. And then by Halloween, 64, partly cloudy, and 50 for the low.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making 5-star pumpkin bread in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Coming up, the efforts to bring American basketball star Brittany Griner home after a Russian court rejected an appeal of her 9-year sentence for drug possession. That's next on CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, we're headed back to Neodesha, where our own Yana Hatula has discovered a unique Airbnb.
Plus, as the Spirit JetBlue merger moves closer to completion, we'll take a look at how this move could impact flyers, even if they don't fly with either airline. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We're going to do this all again tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.